everybody, Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here, and we're joined, of course, by author and economic analyst here at WAM, John Sneisen, and we decided to give you a bit of a cashless society update, as we've talked about many times before. Quickly, I will just re-mention what a cashless society would entail. So, when you put your money in the bank, it's not yours, it's the bank's. And on a centrally planned cashless society system, all your transactions go through the bank digitally, which means the bank always owns your money, which means that you are enslaved to the banks. It's an incredibly terrible system, and it threatens our very being in the near future. And we've seen a lot of the countries going down this road. They're trying to push it into the special drawing rights world currency, and now we have more news out of China and India. So John, can you go into this?
Well, so what happened in China is that they just recently completed a trial run of a cryptocurrency blockchain based system on a centralized basis. The Public Bank of China just completed its trial run. Now, of course, what they've been saying is that, with cash, you can't really implement negative interest rates. It's useless with the cash system. So what they say is that if everyone is holding cash, negative interest rates becomes useless. And then they continue to say with popularity of digital currency, cash usage will drop significantly during extreme deflation. Negative interest rates are perhaps the most useful than dropping money from helicopters. So that's what their plans are. Like, they really want to, get this currency. And of course, China being a communist, that'd be the wet dream, to have the ultimate control over their monetary system in an electronic form, because if you have cash can, make bank runs and so on, because of the way the fiat currency system is built on a fractional reserve based system. So of course it could collapse a bank if everybody starts withdrawing their cash. Now in India, this is interesting news. So from India, actually, the 5 biggest banks in India are merging to create a super bank with $500 billion of assets and 500 million customers.
Oh, great. More merging.
Yeah, so that's what that is. It's a massive merger after they, of course, banned cash. They're talking about in the same article how they're struggling with, shortages of cash everywhere because they banned the 2 highest denominated note, the $500 and $1,000 rupee. And then, of course, they do this more centralization over the banks. Now, 500 million, that's half of India's population, and of course not all of them massive amount of them are not banked yet. So what is happening now is that they're really fast forwarding to try to get this cashless society in India with this massive merger of 5 biggest banks. Think if we did that in the United States or in Canada, it would be insane when you think about it. But yeah, they just did it in India, and they're moving towards the cashless society full force, both in India and China. They're saying that China actually might be the first one to implement it. So China, of course, is not very transparent, so we don't really know what's going on there on their full basis. So how far they've gotten along to implement it. They did a trial run already, so I know that they're quite far ahead. So who knows? Just watch for all these signals of banning high denominated notes. That's one of our goals. Talking about a crypto e-currency implementation, that's another one. So just watch out for those 2 major parts. That's what's happening currently with this cashless implementation all over the world, which they are wanting to make happen, but to just you just gotta watch them and really furiously fight them back, Yes to Cash in Norway and other associations around the world.
Well, absolutely. And John, I think it's important to point out the fact that if China made any major monetary moves, it could crash the US dollar, it could crash the world reserve currency just based on the competition between the currencies. I think Trump unfortunately kind of pushed the idea of weakening the US dollar because it's too strong, because it can't compete against China. And if China pushed forward, say, a gold...
Well, the thing is currency war, which is the cheapening of your currency versus others, and then they cheapen their currency against yours again. So it's a race to zero. The problem with that is it could end up in a hot war with this currency war, because what happens is we get disproportionate economics, trade and so on around the world. and somebody gets really mad and bang.
Yeah, and it's important to point out the exact detail that India actually took 86% of their cash and coin out of circulation, all the while CIGI had urged the G20 countries to pull their cash and coin out of circulation and push a cashless society in the US, all while the M0 trend is on a downtrend like we've never seen before. This is going on at an alarming pace, and it's really important that we talk about cashless society, and we are not talking about things like Bitcoin. We are not talking about things like Ethereum. Yeah, that would be great as long as it's competing and we can compete currencies. But this is completely different. This is a monopolization over currency at one scale, basically to the level of a world currency that they've been talking about for so long, which will enslave us.
Well, it's using the greatness of what Bitcoin was. It was a fight against this stupid fiat currency system. But then they want to use the technology against us to create another centralized, not paper system. For the first time, they would have a full electronic fiat currency system, and it's never happened before. But it could be misused in so many thousands of ways.
Talk about debt slavery. Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing us this update, John. We will continue to update you on this subject because it's something that I'm very passionate about. I know you are as well. It's something that is encroaching on our free will day by day and trying to eliminate any remnants of a free market and free monetary system that might exist in certain parts of the world. This is a globalist agenda. This is the globalist endgame, as G. Edward Griffin told us in a recent interview, and we have to know about it in order to do something about it. So thanks again, John. We'll be back at you with much more. Check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated. And of course, check our address for Bitcoin in the description and the comments, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you so please. And I hope to see you out at the Red Pill Expo. We will leave a link below for tickets to the Red Pill Expo, where you can meet people like G. Edward Griffin, Robert Kiyosaki, Ty Bollinger. You could see James Corbett speak, Lord Moncton, so many other people. It's in Bozeman, Montana in June, and you're going to want to buy tickets to this. I hope to see you there. But until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson and John Sneisen signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.